Mm-hmm. Well, actually, we didn't. And if you go back in the history and think about it for a minute, when we started our first year, we didn't win a race. The best, I think, we had 1 second in there. I mean, it was a tough first year. What misleads everybody, I think, is the second year we won the Daytona 500. That was one race. And then we kind of went the next 2 years with not much happening. This is an extremely tough sport. I thought we started off, kind of having to fight our guts out. And I think you stay in something long enough. We've now been in 19 years. JD was here from day one. Todd, most of our management team, Jimmy Makar, those guys have all been here. We saw every nut and bolt put on. And that's one thrill, to be a part of that and to see where we are today. So, but, I'm always so nervous. JD says it best. Hey, if you don't run well up here, you're not going to be up here very long. I don't care, at what point. So I think it's a little bit misleading in that we won that Daytona 500. And everybody thought we had immediate success. We really didn't. We fought our guts out. I'm not so sure we won more than one race the first 3 years or something, and I'm not even sure what we did the fourth.
Tom Bowles, SI and FrontStretch.com. Got one for Denny, one for Joe. Denny, you have now come back in the last 2 months from being well outside the top 12, and I know it was very early, to being the top seed in the chase right now if it ended today. I know it's still early, but how much does that mean to you to go in as the top seed, and how do you kind of judge where you are in the championship right now?
Well, I feel like we're one of 4 or 5 guys that really are legitimate week in, week out, up front guys. And that's a good feeling right now. But it's very tough to stay on top of any sport for an entire year. Our sport is a roller coaster. It goes up and down, and it has waves. Your performance always comes in waves, but I'm definitely very confident in what we have, planned for the chase and the cars that we have planned for the chase. And right now we are being conservative, believe it or not, in our attempt through this season, and hopefully we peak at the right time. If anyone would say, yeah, you're peaking now, but really, I feel like the best is yet to come.
Cool. And then for Joe, real quick, I just wanted to touch on Joey one more time. You've dealt with a lot of conflicts in your time in the NFL and racing, and certainly Joey's taken the high road on more than one occasion. But he's also been kind of knocked around a little bit on the racetrack at times, kind of a rookie hazing, so to speak. How do you, as you advise him, create that balance of making sure he has that off-track, respect in terms of how he conducts himself, but he also has the respect of the other drivers? You can only get punched so many times before you start punching back. Right.
Well, I think that up here, the drivers, to be quite truthful, I rarely talk to them, whether it's Denny getting in some kind of a situation with somebody, because they have to handle that. And I think we just encourage him. We surround Joey just like we do here. We got Mike McLaughlin working with him over there. Mike's race forever. We got I think the right people around him. Zippy's been around a long time, and so I think they coach him up probably more than I would or JD would. But I think the drivers kind of handle that. But I think it has been kind of a situation where, he's been the young guy, and he's probably been knocked around some. And you kind of hate to see that. But, I think he'll do the right things. We think he's a gifted young guy, and I think he always seems to approach things the right way, too. I'm proud of that he generally, for Joey's going to take the high road.
Okay, we're going to finish up with 2 more. We'll go here and then pass it down to Will Graves.
This is for Denny. Can you just talk about doing this well after the ACL, the surgery, and all of that?
It's, I expected by now to be back to, somewhat normal. But still, it's, it bothers me at times, but, nothing inside the race car. And, but it's been a good. I'm glad to get it over with. I'm glad I didn't wait. I'm glad we decided to do it when we did, and obviously I had some great doctors and great great people working with me in rehabilitation, and work with them still each and every day, just about. So, I got to thank Coach and them for not ripping me a new one for getting injured. I think they understand. Being active outside of racing is part of it. It's kind of a stress relief for myself. That's what I use it as anyway, and I feel like if anything, it's helped me stay focused. I think anyone with any injury that has to play with it, it just keeps them focused even more, maybe, on doing their job.
Will Graves, Associated Press. Denny, you said I heard you say the car was 3 for 3. What were the other 2 races that you used it at?
Martinsville and Darlington. So it's won at many different types of racetracks.
Did Mike give you any hell for hitting the wall there on the burnout?
They weren't happy about it. I hate to put a damper on Victory Lane, but that does it. That's for sure. But that car, it hadn't been touched since Martinsville. We ran it at Darlington and won with it. And I told Coach and a few other ones, or I told Mike, I want this car when it gets retired. Obviously for the collection for the Southern 500 reason. But obviously I wouldn't want to damage a car that I'm future owner of. So
I'm not so sure you can afford it.
And
we got to work that deal out still. So
just one last one. Tony was in here earlier, and he was a little upset, as he tends to be sometimes. And he said some of the racing out here was some of the worst that he's seen in a long time. I mean, you were up front most of the day, but you were in traffic there towards the end. I mean, is that a fair characterization of what was going on?
I mean, I think it's just like Talladega at times. Guys don't race until they have to, and that's just a product of the distance of the races, knowing that you're going to have cautions at the end, and I just don't think anyone pushes it at the beginning. You don't see those 3 and 4 wides. I mean, we were 4 wide for the lead at one point, and where else are you going to see that? I mean, there is a lot of single-file racing here, but it's because us drivers are just in conservative mode for the first half. We know it's a long race, but, I mean, when the winner comes from 16th with 30 to go, what more can you ask for, really?
Gentlemen, you have one more question?
Coach, what's worse, seeing your driver on the burnout hit the wall, or a receiver spiking the ball on the 1-yard line before crossing?
I got to tell you all the truth. I didn't know he hit the wall until I got here and you guys told me. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. We'll work it out somehow. No, I think obviously this costs a lot more.
Gentlemen, congratulations, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.